In ancient times, a dark, hairy horned beast was said to show up at the door to beat children and carry them off in his sharp claws. The Krampus could be heard in the night by the sound of his echoing cloven hooves and his rattling iron chains. The strangest part that he was in league with Santa Claus. The unnerving beast was no demon, however. He was the mythical Krampus, companion to Saint Nicholas, known as Santa Claus, Father Christmas, Kris Kringle, etc. While Saint Nicholas now has the reputation of loving all children and visiting them at Christmas time, judging their character and giving gifts to the nice ones and lumps of coal to the naughty ones, Krampus plays the dangerous sidekick. It is believed that the long-horned, shaggy, goat-like monster with a long, angry face and lolling, forked tongue would visit the home of misbehaving children to punish them. It was believed he would give beatings and kidnap the kids, bringing them down to his underworld lair to live for a year. According to the centuries-old legends, if a child misbehaved, Saint Nicholas in his omniscience would know and send his associate Krampus. It was said this dark partner with a serpentine tail would turn up to the house during the Christmas season to punish the wicked child. He would beat him with a bundle of birch sticks, whip them with horsehair, and throw him into a sack or wicker basket to take him down to hell for a year. If being good for Santa wasn't enough for a delinquent, Krampus' reputation and fearsome appearance terrified children into behaving. As such, it was a useful tale told to children to scare them into goodness. Historians remain unsure as to the exact origins of the Krampus figure in folklore, but it is believed that, like Santa, Krampus predates Christianity, stemming from Norse and Alpine traditions and Germanic paganism. Like many legendary characters, including St. Nicholas himself, Krampus' image has evolved over time and throughout regions, but Krampus represented a balance of light and dark, providing harmony between good and evil. On Krampus night, or Krampusnacht, the eve of December 5th, German children took care to not attract the attention of intimidating beast in hopes that St. Nicholas would bring presents on Nikolaustag, December 6th. According to National Geographic, Krampus is believed to be the son of Hel in Norse mythology. Hel, daughter of Loki and overseer of the land of the dead. His name is derived from the German word Kampen, meaning claw. He shares traits with other figures in Greek mythology, such as satyrs and fauns, and has been portrayed in a salacious manner in late 19th century greeting cards, lusting after buxom women. The myth of Krampus can be found in Alpine regions, Austria, Germany, Hungary, Slovenia, and the Czech Republic, and the legend has gained long legs reaching across Europe and around the world. Families traditionally exchanged colorful greeting cards called Krampuskarten, correct me if I'm wrong, since the 1800s, featuring the sometimes silly, sometimes sinister Krampus. In the early 20th century, Krampus was prohibited by the Austrian fascist government, but the tradition was revived with the fall of government after World War II. Traditional annual parades are still held in which young men dress as the Krampus and race through the streets, snarling and shaking chains at onlookers. Many cities and towns, in keeping with old tradition, run a popular Krampus Love, a sizable gathering of revelers, largely fortified by alcoholic schnapps, dressed in Krampus costume to chase people through the streets. More than 1,200 Austrians gather in Schladming, Styria each year to dress up as Krampus, sweating passers-by with sticks and loudly ringing cowbells. Birch sticks are painted gold and displayed to remind of his arrival. These days on Krampusnacht, Krampus will commonly accompany St. Nicholas to homes and businesses where St. Nicholas will give out gifts and Krampus will hand out coal and birch stick bundles. In addition to Krampus, Santa traditionally enjoyed a host of different companions depending on region and culture, reflecting local history and beliefs. These mythical figures have many common traits and generally play the role of punisher and abductor, in contrast to the benevolent and generous saint. They often carried a rod, a stick, or broom, were usually dressed in black rags, and were shaggy with unruly hair. But in my opinion, the most outrageous out of all is Zwarte Piet, known as Black Pete. Black Pete is an old mythical figure of Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, who has become a controversial figure in modern times. Traditionally a blackamoor, African male figure usually symbolizing a servant, he was characterized as a Moor from Spain and helper to St. Nicholas, who was to amuse children and give candy. Actors portraying Zwarte Piet would wear blackface, dark makeup, curly black wigs, and red lipstick, a practice which is now seen as racist stereotype. Appearances in Zwarte Piet are now protested in Netherlands. The legend of Krampus isn't in fear of dying out, it is in fact gaining popularity, even though there are those who believe the devil-like Krampus figure is inappropriate for children, or he's believed to have been altered to suit modern anti-Christmas sentiments. Like it or not, the modern image Krampus has been hijacked from all good intentions he may have enjoyed in folklore. He is cemented now in several cultures as a monster, along with no good to be imposed on anyone by his presence. He is the personification of fear and the ultimate Christmas nightmare, much to the delight of adults who want to act like the very children Krampus was intended to correct, writes the editor of mymerrychristmas.com. It is good to remember that Krampus, while appearing to be a demon, is not anti-Santa, however, since ancient times has worked alongside Santa to ensure that people had respect, behaved, and were good to each other, in his own unorthodox way. What better holiday sentiment can there be?